Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Just coming to you on a lazy Sunday afternoon on the mountain here in Costa Rica. Haven't gotten a whole lot done today. Weather's been really overcast. Rained a good bit the last 2 days, and it's been chilly at nights, and it's just drained. I just drained all motivation. I did get a workout in. Getting those guns going a little bit, seeing a little bit of work and seeing a little bit of gains in the gun department. I ain't gonna be winning the Mr. Olympia or anything this year, I know that, so I'm not getting too big in the head or anything, but yeah, it's just, good to get a little bit of a workout in. Just waiting till I can finally get into the gym. I feel like I'm just kind of holding my own, treading water. Wanted to do this video today, low fat, raw vegan, eating differently throughout the year. I do videos like this every day or similar every day on the raw vegan lifestyle, on a plant-based lifestyle, the benefits of it, a little bit on fitness, a little bit on meditation and philosophy on the weekends sometimes. So if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that button now and click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Like I say, I like to share stuff on this channel as it's happening in real time, just kind of giving feedback from what I'm doing, and this is a good time for this. I've talked about this before. I thought I would elaborate about how I don't just like have a static line like this. I don't eat the same way throughout the year. I don't eat the same percentage of fat. I don't eat the same composition. I don't eat the same type of fruits. And somebody will ask me why. I don't really know. It's just kind of, I just go by how I feel a lot. Yeah, I mostly go by how my body leads me, how I feel. Now, before I even really get into this, I want to say this is not for somebody's probably already looking at this thinking I'm talking about seasons. I'm not really talking about, I'm just playing with the grass down here. I'm not really talking about like eating differently throughout the years because of the climate or even because of necessarily the fruit that's available, although those are both things that are very important. I live, like I say, even though the climate changes a little bit between rainy and dry, I don't change seasons that much, and I pretty much have access to a lot of the same fruits year round. I can get pineapple all the time, I can get banana all the time, I can get papaya all the time. They're better at certain times of the year, but I get mango all the year. So I've got all the fruits. I've got pretty much everything I need, but still my body just, for some reason, it's gotten into this thing of like, it just changes. I'll go through these patterns for 2 or 3 months at a time, and then somehow it just tells me to change. Now, recently, you guys know, in the last 2.5 months, I've been like uber low fat. I've been uber low fat and eating really, really clean. And also too, something different was I backed off of the bananas a little bit, especially earlier in the day, and was focusing on eating higher water concentrated fruits, and building up through the day, starting with that. So I was eating, I was just really buzzing. There was a while there I was eating like no fat, almost 2 months, like very, very little fat, very little fat. Mostly high water content fruits up until about 12 or 1, then maybe a green smoothie, and then salad at night with I went pretty much with one salad dressing for almost a month, red pepper and mango. So, really, really clean. And I kind of got to the point, and it wasn't like that kind of, when I say this about getting too much energy, it's like it wasn't that jittery like cocaine or coffee kind of where you're shaky. But I was getting about ready after 2 months to take it down a notch. I was just like really vibrating. I was just like really, sometimes at night I was like, okay, I don't want to have this much energy right now. Because I kind of like to wind down at night. It's good for a while. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I was buzzing high, and it's not like I've, drastically changed. And I didn't even realize I was changing until the body just kind of started picking this one day, and, little subtle changes here and there. As I prepare to go to the States, and I won't be getting my mangoes, I won't be getting my pineapples and papayas. I'm backing off the juicier fruit a little bit more. I'm getting back to more bananas, and I will kind of increase that and move even more in that direction over the next 4 weeks until I go to the States. But I'm still trying, what the takeaway, I'm still trying to get that higher water content early in the morning, but I am going to bananas earlier now, and I will be doing more bananas, getting more greens in there. I don't know, there's certain times, I know I wasn't getting all the greens in that I should the last couple of months, but once again, and that's why I always say, take this channel as an experiment, just an observation with a grain of salt, because I will tell you straight out, sometimes I catch myself and I'm just like, well, it just feels good. I'm not doing things exactly right. Like, sometimes I know, or I'll go 3 or 4 days and I'm just not really hitting it on the greens. I'm either out of them or just like really into a fruity phase, and I'm just not getting enough greens in, and I know that. So sometimes I'm not the guy that's always trying to tell you my diet's right, the right way or the perfect way. I just kind of like, things just happen sometime. But I mean, not anything bad. Things don't just happen like I eat junk. Things tend to happen where I probably go a little cleaner than I might need to. But I'm back to variety now. And the next morphine as I go to the States, as I get back into the gym, and there's always different, like I say, there's different things. My mood sometimes during the year, I tend to get a little bit more physical at times. I get really sparked up on the physicality thing, and then at other times I get more contemplative and I eat less. When the weather's so-and-so around here and I'm like meditating a lot and just more in that kind of thing, I'm eating less and not as focused on the food. So there's just, I don't know, I think there's a lot of benefits if you've tried doing this lifestyle, just kind of having a flat line, like eating the same thing all the time, like sticking to 80-10-10 every day. I try to stick pretty much to those numbers, 80-10-10, but I don't necessarily shoot for that on any given day. I just kind of like to feel like, in my way of doing things, it just kind of balances out. Fat-wise right now, though, I'm still not eating a lot of fat, but I am putting it back in, and on a fairly regular basis. Last week, I had, well, it was a really big avocado, but I stretched that out. I had avocado, I had half of it in one meal, and then I had quarters in another, and it was a bigger one. So I had some tahini last week. I had Melissa's pad thai recipe, so I had fat there. And also over the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks, I've been adding the chia seeds and the hemp seeds back in my smoothies. So and that has been just enough, and that's where I think this next phase is going to be. I'm not going over, I'm not going to correct from that uber low fat to going higher fat, because something I just lost, every time you do one of those periods of like uber low fat like that, I think anyway, or it works for me, like after I'm done, or when I go back to eating, regulating my fat a little bit more, I have less of a taste for fat. In other words, my overall fat thing goes down. In other words, like right now, after doing that, I'm eating more fat, but I definitely do not feel like eating fat every day. Not eating fat today, didn't eat fat yesterday. And when I talk about this stuff too, this is just kind of, like I say, and I'm repeating myself, this is just like what my body calls for. I don't sit around and think about fat. I don't sit around and discipline myself not to eat fat. I just eat the fat. Like, I really get on these grooves and I just don't want to eat fat. In fact, the last couple of weeks that I wasn't eating fat, it was kind of like, okay, once you go to that side, then it's actually hard to jump it again. I kept kind of putting it off. I said, well, I'll eat some fat next week, or I'll eat some fat later on this week when I get this fruit out of the way, and I never did. But it's definitely brought me down just a little bit to a more manageable level, but not to where it's like sapped my energy or whatever. Had a great workout today. This weather saps my energy more than anything. But yeah, I would say play around with that. Always be playing with your diet. Always be playing with all the numbers, all the percentages, all the various components of it, because that's how I feel like I've gotten to where I am and thriving where I am, because I've just it's just been kind of this experimentation. Instead of, I've mentioned before, like so many people want to make these big jumps with their diet instead of just the little subtleties to hone in, like they try something. It's not giving them exactly the results they want, so they go diametrically over here instead of just adjusting this a little bit, seeing how that works, adjusting it a little bit more, and just really honing that process. And I just feel like that's all I'm doing as I go for, this is a journey. I know we use that word a lot, and sometimes I even think that word, our journey, is overused, but it really is a journey. And I just feel like I gain more knowledge, and I gain more just intuitiveness about my body as I go down this journey. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing. I'm going to keep doing like I'm doing, and try to ride with it. It's like, you know, it's like a lot of stuff. I try to kind of go with certain things, and as the body, if the body will lead me, I will follow, as long as it's not leading me in bad directions. But yeah, I would encourage you to do that and play around a little bit. Take control. Don't be just watching these YouTube videos all the time, taking the notes, waiting just to do what everybody else tells you to do. Because I'll tell you something. Even if you're just coming to being raw vegan today, or high carb vegan, plant-based, whatever you want, whatever you're doing, you're still more of an expert on you than I am. So, you know, take responsibility in this. Don't just blindly follow people. And I don't necessarily mean like, I'm just saying, because we are all individuals, and there's something to really be gained by balancing that. Now, I'm not throwing it totally out there. Yes, you want to read, you want to take information from other people, you want to get other opinions. It's good to to think like a think tank, you know, mix up things and get a whole lot of different ideas, but you have to be part of the process, and you know, you've got to play with this. If you don't experiment and you just like are trying to do, you know, you see the latest thing that somebody shares on Facebook, you're probably just not going to get a whole lot out of this lifestyle. Now, like I say, my obligations, my responsibilities give me the time to put a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of time. It just gives me the time to do what I naturally need to do, because I have food around me and I can get to food all the time, and I don't have the distractions of having to pack up all this stuff to take on an hour commute every day. So anyway, we try to we just do the best we can. But I would highly encourage you that, like, you know, maybe start playing with going through different periods on your food. Try that low fat, but you don't need to do low fat all the time. Or not in my opinion anyway, because I know when I go super low for a while, then my hair and my skin are crying for some fat, and they need some good healthy fat. So play, experiment, be part of the process. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.